Hello, we are now reacting to Billlie, because there's like 3 L's followed by 3 I.
Today we're reacting to the girl group Billlie and their single Cloud Palace False Awakening, which is the conclusion to their 4-year Palace trilogy, focusing on themes of self-discovery and confronting lost selves at the boundary of dreams and reality.
This looks interesting. I love when it's all lowercase. I am a dedicated lowercase texter.
The singers feel like they're in a dreamlike state and try to find a shortcut back to someone they care about. Perhaps
we better have
Billlie?
some whole tone scales in this. It's a little pentatonic moment. Yeah.
They describe moving through fog and mysterious paths, refusing to stop, wanting to reach the one they're searching for no matter what.
I feel that, man. You know, I've been taking antidepressants, and ever since I started them, man, my dreams have been f***ing crazy.
The song is composed by Min Ji-shin and Jeonnie. There are 4 versions of this song, and so I was struggling to choose which version to show you guys, so I just ended up going with my favorite.
Their band stuff has been cool. I'm excited.
Ooh.
Oh, it's live.
Ooh.
Okay.
Good start.
And they're sitting too.
That's crazy.
Do you know the band?
They're session musicians.
Oh, like a session.
Production on the cymbals is pretty nice on that. The way they add the reverb, make it washier.
It's a really low timbre.
Wow.
That synth.
It's mixed so well.
Ticky.
Nice.
Oh, bass comes in.
Ah. Beautiful.
This is very much so like the personification of it's the friends we met along the way, I think.
Ooh. Bass.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, nice.
Big 2 feel overall.
Oh, the band is making them so much more gutsy. Like the band is making them sing with so much more power, and I love that.
Yes.
Nice.
Kind of a cool modulation, like fake out. It's pretty badass.
Nice. Cute.
Yes. Man, that bassist is
That was a crazy hard.
Felt it. This is so tight.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, this cadence harmonies are so awesome.
There's a little text painting. It's like you're above the clouds. It's like that moment where everything clears up.
Oh, I love her voice.
That's sort of like a rockish vibe.
Yeah.
Almost metal.
Yeah, harmonies.
Nice.
That's crazy.
This drum set player is really good. Obviously, it's distracting me, man. This is, oh my god.
He's really enjoying it.
I was right. It was good.
Wow.
Oh, please. Please, yes.
There's horns in a different version?
Come on now.
I can hear this jam all day.
I don't think we're supposed to be reacting to this part, but this is groovy, you know?
No, you gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
There's saxophone, man.
Woo.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a teaser to the other version uploaded to YouTube.
Oh wow!
Oh.
Fun.
Cool.
So
Cool. Very cool. I think you picked the right version. I guess I can't compare it to the other versions, but this was cool. This was very cool.
Like, without hearing the other versions, this was the right version.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's
that
funky.
was very interesting.
Yeah.
What a great arrangement. And you can tell like they've put so much work into like making the group sound so together and so whole. I think everybody's really connecting rhythmically and also energy wise. Like I didn't feel like the voices felt unsupported at all. I felt like they were really on leading the band into things. There was like a great synergy between the rhythm section and the vocalist.
In past songs that we have reacted to, I've always said, oh, I wish the band was a little louder. I feel like they hit it. I think Ben thinks that it was too loud, but like I like that because it feels like they're not less important, but they're part of it. And also it feels more like a live setting. Because like if you're in a live setting, it doesn't matter how like loud you turn up the singer, the drum set's gonna overpower them. Even if the drum set isn't mic. Like, you know, the guitar is just, you're using this massive amp. And this is, the bass as well. It's all the same thing. Like they will overpower the singer to a certain extent, no matter how high you turn up the volume of the singer's microphone. That being said, I like that a lot. I really like that live feeling, and it makes you feel a lot more like you're actually like listening live to a performance of this rather than a recording.
It was very clear like the trajectory of like the soundscape, and so as that soundscape became clearer, the instrumentalists like kind of had a different approach to each sectional, so it had like the steady evolution. That also went with Billie's changes in like vocal timbre, because I think they definitely went from a more airy vocal tone to a more strong vocal tone by the end.
The vocals were quite beautifully sung. Almost all the onsets had this like added into it. They used this kind of breathy onset to be able to lead into these like really like ethereal-esque vocals and keep the sound in that breathy space. Purposely placing it in a way where they're not pointing it towards these resonators, towards these empty space. They're pointing it a little bit lifted up, probably towards the soft palate. So this is still resonating because otherwise you wouldn't hear it, but it's not resonating as much as it could, which is why their head voice resonance coming off is quite breathy. So it's a very interesting sound. I like it.
I loved when they all just came together and there were so many harmonies happening towards, I think it was the last chorus. Everything just felt kind of chaotic in a really good way.
Yeah. There was the girl with like the blondish, like purplish hair, whoever that was. Yeah. She had a good, like very warm sound like to like her belt, which was like really nice because I feel like sometimes it sounds like kind of screamy, like when people like really go for it. But she still like kept this beautiful sound.
It wasn't it didn't sound strained.
Like it got more present and it got louder. Yeah, like it was still what she was comfortable with, it seemed.
For me, what stood out the most instrumentally was there was so much cymbal. Like
This is probably the best sounding cymbals in any like K-pop group I've ever heard.
And I kind of liked it. It gave me this like, I wasn't looking too closely at the lyrics, but cloudy, you know, feeling like, because it wasn't one of those really hard mallets, I suppose, because it was so much but not too much for me. And often it would just accent like the vocalist line. Like I think in the second chorus or somewhere, it was just, I was hearing it a lot on where the vocalist was singing as well, kind of give some power to what she was saying.
At one point I was like only thinking about the drum set, which I know is what they meant, but they were still singing lyrics. I couldn't hear what they were saying.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't speak the language, but I couldn't hear what they were saying in that moment
Like
when
the
the drum set was going.
Dang, I feel bad for their ears.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The drummer is so close.
Actually, they've got in-ears in. They're probably fine.
You saw her adjust it right now. She's like, yeah, this should get a lot. Sorry.
I think the changes in like how they worked with the meter, because it was obviously 4/4 the whole time, but they changed the groove constantly, so it was emphasizing different like stretches of beat.
They also do a lot of funky things with the rhythm where we kind of get our expectations subverted about where the downbeat is going to be, where those instrumental hits land, and then you get thrown off a little bit and then you're like anticipating that next hit, which is like, it really keeps your ear engaged. They do some really interesting things.
Yeah, the hits are pretty nice where they're syncopated and it's pretty, there's a lot of the it's kind of, it catches you off guard. It's a very snarky puppy kind of way to do to do band accents. Pretty awesome.
There were so many moments where we get bass and guitar doubling, and also like sometimes keyboard joins in like. And then there were moments where the bass was doing a different line and there was like contrary motion together where the bass was ascending, the guitar was descending, and then we get this like cool kind of like timbral mixture. Really, really nice. And then they have this kind of little modal mixture moment with the chords.
So for the majority of the song, it feels like we're in E minor, but then every single time we get to like the end of a phrase where then they play the tonic chord, instead of playing an E minor chord, they play an E major chord. And when groups do this, it's such like a, oh yes, man, like it's such a like a happy feeling
moment.
Yeah,
Almost,
it's such a good feeling. Because I mean, if it keeps being minor for the whole time, it's like, well, not sad, but it's driving and there's determination, but then there's no actual like release of the like a pleasant major chord.
What I was like kind of drawn to in like terms of the atmosphere is the spaciness of the harmony. When I think of really spacey, like really kind of harmonies in the sky, I think of 7th chords, 9th chords, chords with a lot of extensions, and all of these chords in here are very jazz inspired. They all have tons of extensions. There's lots of different notes going on.
I also like the chords in the bridge, I think. So the first chord is, it's like a 2-5. So it's like A minor 7 to then D7. And then
E major 7.
let me think about how.
What do you call that? It's like a thing.
In the biz, we call that a backdoor.
2-5 is an expansion of the function of the minor 4 chord. So if you just play like minor 4-1, you can expand that. So if you make the minor 4 a minor 7, and then you voice lead the G to an F sharp to make it D7. It wants to go to G major 7, but instead you go a whole step. Up.
There was one chord that put me on the freaking floor.
A, D, E, same thing again. We're going D minor to G, dominant 7 to C. I think that's just a 2-5-1 into C major. B flat, A, G, F.
Yeah, I love that F major 7 because it's out of nowhere, but we've had all these resolutions end up randomly in E major, and I love how that one ends up randomly in F major instead of it. But then it gets us very easily. It's a tritone substitution to get us back to E minor.
Cool. Wow, today I learned. I like this. And then E major 7, and then it goes down to that. A7 add 9. Oh, the
With
colors.
This is a 13.
That's crazy. Oh, you're so right. You think? It's just how, yeah. There you go.
And then they get that nice like altered sound. Sharp 9, sharp punch with the 5. And it really has a lot of colorful tension tones that when you have these really cyclical, very functional, like going around the circle of 5th, tension tones make that all the more interesting and colorful to listen to.
Yeah, dig this a lot. I definitely felt maybe it was the friends we met along the way kind of vibes going on. And the reason I say that is just because of the combination of the chords that they're using, and also the tempo adds to that a lot. This like medium kind of tempo that's not too fast, not too slow, but it's still driving, especially with the drum set going absolutely buck wild there at the end.
I also felt like the articulation was different throughout. Like I felt like it got more articulated as it went on. Either the swells or the decays, like that happen kind of more towards the first half of the song, I feel like give it kind of like the dreamy quality, just because it's not like, here is a note and here's another note, but there's a little wah, wah. But I feel like as it goes on, it's very much like da, and it starts. And then, but I feel like it gives a different effect in terms of the sound itself, but also with the time, it just feels a lot more like settled. And like, I don't know what the lyrics are, but I feel like that might have something to do with like, I don't know, the progression of the song.
Still a bit confusing, the image I wandered through every time. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like foggy.
You just
something
kind of
maze.
lost and in a dream and looking for something and
Yeah.
Wait, so maybe they feel like they're in a little bit of a liminal space and it's starting to crack open and now they're like running into their own little world.
I think there are like some moments of clarity, like when it goes to like a major triad or something, but in general, the lyrics at least are painting like this kind of lost, foggy feel, cloudy.
dude, I was just vibing.
I was vibing too.
I forgot they have lore.
They have lore?
On the 11th bell, Billlie disappeared, and so they're on this journey to find Billlie, and then there are Billies inside of all of us, so is it discovering your own self?
Oh, okay, I get it now. Okay, so basically it's a giant metaphor for
They're in a dream state, they're in the clouds, the time has stood still, and now the second hand will no longer move. So there's kind of this essence of we are in the same spot, we are in the same place constantly, and this crack that's in that I see is what I'm trying to break through. I'm trying to get to Billlie, and trying to get, it's in you as Billlie.
And it's just like this giant metaphor for like head in the clouds, and then all of a sudden taking myself back down to reality from this unrealistic daydream that I keep on like seeing myself in. That's really just a trap, and I need to be here in reality and seek you. It's like it's a cool idea. I like the metaphor a lot, and I hear it in the music now.
I will. I've listened to all the versions now.
Yes!
all 85 of them.
Yes!
I like the rapid pocketing of voices there.
Oh my god.
You know what ocean drum is, Emma?
This is a big drum. There's things inside any though.
And it sounds like the ocean.